أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وإمامنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ربنا زدنا علما نافعا وعملا صالحا. اللهم ربنا زدنا علما نافعا وعملا صالحا. اللهم ربنا زدنا علما نافعا وعملا صالحا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we will start from verse 58. Surah Yusuf. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وجاء إخوة يوسف فدخلوا عليه فعرفهم وهم له منكرون. ولما جهزهم بجهازهم قال ائتوني بأخ لكم من أبيكم ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير المنزلين. فإن لم تأتوني به فلا كيل لكم عندي ولا تقربون. قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون. وقال لفتيانه جعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون. قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونميل أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير. قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتون موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم. فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل. وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون. ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. ولما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أخاه قال إني أنا أخوك فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يعملون فلما جهزهم بجهازهم جعل السقاية في رحل أخيه ثم أذن مؤذن أيتها العير إنكم لسارقون قالوا أقبلوا عليهم ماذا تفقدون قالوا نفقد صواع الملك ولمن جاء به حمل بعير وأنا به زعيم قالوا تالله لقد علمتم ما جئنا لنفسد في الأرض وما كنا سارقين قالوا فما جزاؤه إن كنتم كاذبين قالوا جزاؤه من وجد في رحله فهو جزاؤه كذلك نجزي الظالمين فبدأ بأوعيتهم قبل وعاء أخيه ثم استخرجها من وعاء أخيه كذلك كدنا ليوسف ما كان ليأخذ أخاه في دين الملك إلا أن يشاء الله نرفع درجات من نشاء وفوق كل ذي علم عليم قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل فعسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبديها له قال أنتم شر مكانا والله أعلم بما تصفون قالوا يا أيها العزيز شيخا كبيرا فخذ أحدنا مكانه إنا نراك من المحسنين قال معاذ الله أن نأخذ إلا من وجدنا متاعنا عنده إنا إذا لظالمون فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا قال كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله ومن قبل ما فرطتم في يوسف فلن أبرح الأرض حتى يأذن لي أبي أو يحكم الله لي وهو خير الحاكمين ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك سرق وما شهدنا إلا بما علمنا وما كنا للغيب حافظين واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها وإنا لصادقون قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل عسى الله أن يأتي جميعا إنه هو العزيز الحكيم وتولى عنه فقال يا أسفا على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون يا بني اذهبوا فتحسسوا من يوسف وأخيه ولا تيأسوا من روح الله والعزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر وجئنا ببضاعة مزجاة فأوف لنا الكيل وتصدق علينا إن الله يجزي المتصدقين قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا إنه من يتق ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله علينا وإن كنا لخاطئين. قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. اذهبوا بقميصي هذا فألقوه على وجه أبي يأت بصيرا وأتوني بأهلكم أجمعين. ولما فصلت العيد قال أبوهم إن أتني يوسف لولا تكلمون. قالوا تالله إنك لفي ضلالك القديم. فلما جاء البشير ألقاه على وجهه فارتد بصير قال أنا أقول إني أعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا إنا كنا خاطئين. قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه وقال ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين. ورفع أبويه على العرش وخروا له سجدا وقال يا أبت هذا تأويل رؤياي من قبل قد جعلها ربي وقد أحسن بي إذ أخرجني من السجن وجاء بكم من البدو من بعد أن نزغ الشيطان بيني وبين إخوتي إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء إنه هو العليم الحكيم. رب قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما والحقني بالصالحين. ذلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيه إليك وما كنت لديهم إذ أجمعوا أمرهم وهم يمكرون. وما أكثر الناس ولو حرصت بمؤمنين وما تسألهم عليه من أجر إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين. Uh, the next mindset is forgiveness and generosity is with authority. Forgiveness and generosity is with authority. Now, a lot of times we forgive people and we be generous and kind, which is ought to be our character as a Muslim. However, the original ruling of forgiveness and generosity is that when you forgive and when you be generous, to maximize the forgiveness, maximize the generosity, you ought to be in authority. To maximize forgiveness and to maximize generosity, you ought to be in authority. At the highest, at the comprehensive level, cannot be attained or cannot be achieved or cannot be bestowed except or unless you have authority over the person you are forgiving. Over the person you are forgiving. Open this. Similarly, when you are generous, that isn't appreciated unless you have authority over the person you are being generous towards, or you are being sacrificial towards. And that is the reason Yusuf alayhi salam forgave his brothers for what they have done, forgave what they have done. He forgave them after he first rectified the issue, right? Took them into account, and then he forgave them once he had the authority. And we also forget, when we say Muhammad forgave his own, he finally forgave them once he had authority above them. Once he conquered Mecca, right, they came to him for forgiveness. And they sought forgiveness from him, and then he forgave them. We forget that. We always think Muhammad said, I forgive you, that Yusuf forgave his brothers. But we don't realize the background that Yusuf forgave them after a good 40 years. And after rectifying the issue, and also after having authority over them, and after taking them into account. He asked, do you know what you've done towards Yusuf? He took them into account. And only then did he forgive. Also they sought forgiveness from him, and they also sought forgiveness from the Father. Why is this important? Because as us reiterated in so many of my classes, because the other mindset isn't not only isn't not correct, it's non-existent. The mindset is where you forgive people, and you keep forgiving people, and you keep forgiving people, you be generous and keep being generous towards people, even if they are evil people, even if they are oppressive people. Firstly, that mindset is not Islamic mindset. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never ever encourages a person to harm himself more or to attain more oppression upon him. Never ever, rather he forbids it. He forbids you to attain more harm upon yourself. He forbids you for you to bring more oppression towards yourself. And if you do that, then Allah will take you into account for bringing more oppression towards yourself. Yeah? So firstly, that is un-Islamic. Second is non-existence. If you keep forgiving, eventually you will have enough of this person taking advantage of you, and then you will do something wrong. You may go beyond the boundary to take your rights back. So it's non-existent in terms of reality. You cannot forgive someone continuously, consistently, until eventually they will kill you. So obviously when they come to kill you, you will defend yourself. You're not saying that, okay, kill me. No one will say. Or torture me. No one will say. So it is non-existent. Yeah? In reality, unrestricted, unlimited forgiveness, generosity doesn't exist in reality. No one can do that. So this notion, it is actually non-existent. Even though I say it is a Buddhist mindset, but even Buddhists, if you were to torture them, if someone wants to torture them, someone wants to oppress them, sooner or later they will start defending themselves. So it's not even a Buddhist mindset. It is a non-existent mindset, and it's mindset the enemies put in the hearts of simple, innocent people. They put this mindset across in order for them to let the person go. In order for them to take advantage of yourselves. And this mindset, sadly, has been ripping across the Muslim world for the last couple of 100 years.
And because of this, a lot of oppression took place within the Muslim community by the Muslim community, and a lot of oppressors outside the Muslim community were able to take advantage of this negative, non-existent, right, mindset within the Muslim community. And then we learned the hard way. And we learned that when we give oppressors more chance, opportunity to oppress ourselves, eventually they will kill us. And then and only then do we begin to defend ourselves. So as I said in my quote, I think today, I said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says for you to forgive, but He doesn't say to be a fool. He says for you to be generous, but He doesn't say for you to be naive. He says for you to be patient, but He doesn't say to be more harm and oppression upon you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never ever encouraged us or legislated for us oppression ourselves or bring more oppression upon ourselves. Never ever legislated upon us to have negative characteristics, let alone have characteristics which make us non-existent. So this mindset, sadly, a lot of simple, innocent Muslims have, young and old, men and women, right? This mindset is unethical, un-Islamic, and is suicidal. The only boundary the Prophet and Islam gives is that if you be naive once, make sure you don't be naive the second time. If you be gullible once, make sure you don't be gullible the second time. If you are deceived once, make sure you are not deceived the second time. Because if you are deceived second time, you are not amongst the category of the believers. Allah negates Iman from you if you be deceived second time by the same person. Yeah? So sometimes a believer is not stung from the same point. A believer, a believer. Which rather negates a true believer, Muslim man or woman, young or old, to be deceived twice. So the Sharia overlooks for you to be deceived once. But for you to be deceived twice, then you are not at the level of internal spirituality and also at the level of your mind. We as a Muslim. Also at the level of experience, you're not there. And thereby you're condemned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the Prophet, and by Islam. You're condemned. Rather than your oppressor being condemned, he will be obviously taken into account, but you also will be taken into account. Why were you fooled again? Why were you deceived again? Why were you immature and naive and gullible again? You will also be taken into account by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of His izzah could have legislated for the believers for them to be not deceived even once. He could have legislated that you as a Muslim, you as a believer, you should not be deceived even once. But out of His mercy, He let us be deceived by our enemies or by our adversaries or our haters once. And not twice. Not twice. So how should our character be? Our character should be ethical, moral, responsible, dutiful, kind, generous, understanding, mature. This should be our character, experience-based. But the boundary is when I know someone is trying to deceive me, when I know someone is trying to take advantage of me, I be assertive. I call them out. I catch them out. I expose them. And I be assertive. Is that only for me? No, it's not only for me. It's to protect also any other Muslim who is innocent and simple, who is kind and generous. It's to protect them from being taken advantage of or being oppressed. So what does that do? That then mitigates any Muslim and Muslimah or any innocent human being being deceived and oppressed by anyone in the society, because that mindset is there. Soon as someone tries to deceive, your guards are up. Your shield is out. Yeah? So that they are unable then to deceive. If we had this mindset for the last couple of 100 years as a community and as individuals, then we wouldn't be in the place where we are now. A lot of the trenches and ditches that has been dug for us and traps that have been dug for us, we participated in digging. We participated in digging those trenches and ditches for us to fall into it. Okay? So my advice to my brothers and sisters and to the Muslims and the whole Ummah is that this mindset of forgiving unrestrictedly, being generous unrestrictedly and unlimited with anyone, everyone, right, has a boundary. And the boundary is not towards people who are cunning, deceptive, oppressive, evil, nasty. It's not towards them. You put a boundary towards them, you be assertive towards them, you catch them out, you call them out, and you expose them. You prevent them from oppressing, and you prevent them from oppressing yourself. You prevent them from harming yourself and harming others. And I'm very vocal about this. The reason I'm very vocal about this is because the consequences and the disasters that are falling within our families and within pious, righteous, upright people, righteous, upright families, right, and innocent, vulnerable, weak people is so saddening. Right? It breaks your heart when you see how much they have been deceived, how much oppression has been committed upon them, so much so that the people who are oppressed, they may try to make them non-existent, right? And even though I did not have that mindset, I was forgiving and I was always merciful. But I've seen through experience that the one who is evil and nasty and venomous, right? They will not change because you're merciful. They will not change because you're generous. They will not change because you're sacrificing, right? They will not transform because they're evil by sheer nature. They will take every advantage and to oppress you more and more. And if it means to make you non-existent, they will try their best, utmost best to make you non-existent, right? I've learned the hard way. Doesn't matter how much care you have for the Muslim community or for the people that you can love. Doesn't matter how much care and love you have. If they are evil, if they are nasty, and if they are oppressive in the sheer nature, they don't care how much you sacrifice, how much care you have for them, how much love and sympathy and empathy you have for them. They don't care. They will do everything in their power to oppress you, to slander you, to assassinate you. They will do everything until you're completely non-existent. Because they become shayateen al-ins. They become the human shayateen. The human shayateen they are ruthless. They have no mercy in their hearts. They have no mercy in their souls. They are merciless people. Now, Yusuf al-Islam showed that his character was merciful, his character was muhsin. That's why when they came and they were in need, even though he recognized them, They did not recognize him, yet he was still merciful towards them. But he had a plan. He had a plan eventually to put them in such a, of course he knew that they would be released sooner or later. So he had a plan that eventually for them to realize that his character was merciful. Straight away, if he was to take them into account, they would think he's out there, he's here for revenge. So he had to show that his character is merciful character. So he showed that when they were in need, he gave them extra food, extra grain, right? And he asked them to come back, he will give them more. So he showed them. So this is, if you love someone, if you care for someone, and you want them to realize that you love them and care, but their envy and their jealousy and their greed and their evilness and nastiness is preventing from seeing that you are a very kind, generous person, then create an environment, create a scenario situation where you are expressing your care. So then they can fall back to that when you be assertive. They can fall back to that when you be assertive. You know, there were two groups of people that were very nasty to me and to my family. For 15 years I ignored. For 15 years I ignored them. Right? I was merciful, I was kind, I was generous, I used to buy them stuff. Right? But they wanted to make us non-existent. Right? They did everything to make us non-existent. So now they can refer back to those 15 years, how I was generous, how I was kind. Right? Because I didn't show my smart side, right? I was like showing my like naive and immature and gullible side, like seeing and not seeing it, knowing and not knowing it. But now they're seeing my assertive side. Now they're seeing my assertive side. So they can fall back to those 15 years of me being generous, me being kind, me being a sacrificing person. That 15 years they can fall back to. Similarly with another person, right? I was kind and I was generous for last 20 years, and especially last 6 years, I was very kind and generous and overlooking. So they can fall back to last 20 years in the first place, and then last 5 years or 6 years to let them know, let themselves know that, you know what, this guy is a kind and generous and sacrificing person. Or we took advantage of his kindness and care and love and so on and so on. Yeah? So they can fall back to that. Now this is important, this is very, very important. This is very, very important for you to be assertive with people whom you love and care for. That they have to fall back to, we don't want to cut ties. As Muslims, we want to cut ties. But we want to show them that we are not like you. We are not envious like you, we are not greedy like you, we are not oppressive like you. So that you have to give, right, a good time, right, like I gave the both of these groups, you can say I gave 20 years. They can fall back to 20 years of me being generous and kind and sacrificing towards them, to refer back to like, okay, now he's being assertive, but all of these years he wasn't. Is simply to show that he as a character is the assertive person. He as a character is a very merciful, very kind, very caring, very loving, very sacrificing person. But because we were taking advantage of his character, because we were trying to kill them, right, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically drain them, that's why he had enough. Yeah? That's why he had to pull his foot down. Is that clear? Yusuf did the same thing. Muhammad did the same thing. He fought with his uncles. Physically fought with them. Yeah? He physically fought with his tribes. Yeah? And at the end, once he had the upper hand, then and only then they sat at the negotiating table, and eventually, when he won the victory of fight, they came to him and he showed mercy and he showed forgiveness. So I hope everyone get rid of the character of unlimited and unrestricted mercy and forgiveness. As I said, that doesn't exist. The mindset has to be washed away with this mindset that I have given you today. Lastly, last mindset. This is the greatest mindset. If you forget all the mindsets I've given you, yeah, this is the greatest one. Trust me. Yeah. My whole life, right, out of all of the years of traveling and experiencing different cultures and societies, and different people, groups of people, different authorities, different power. Even Islam says it, but experiencing something is something else. What I found is what I want to say to you now. Is gratitude is life. Gratitude is life. Sorry, I did not get last title. Last point. So the title was, once the upright people have the full authority of the enemy, or the enemy has lost the war, rectify matters with warmth and forgiveness. So after you have won, yeah, after you have the upper hand, then rectify, reconcile, forgive, and be generous and mercy. That was the title of the last class. Okay, gratitude is life. I haven't found anything that gives you contentment internally and makes you go to sleep with peace within yourselves and gratitude. So gratitude is life. SubhanAllah, as we say water is life, that's how I say gratitude is life. That's how I say gratitude is life. As we say, without soul, there is no life. That's how I say gratitude is life. Yeah? That's how I mean. That's how I mean. And obviously, not many of you brothers and sisters have went through what our parents went through in terms of struggles, or our grandparents went through in terms of, especially our parents, those who migrated from back home, our grandparents. They went through so much struggles. And yeah, alhamdulillah, you find them, they were, because the vast majority of them, they were content with life, or they were happy. And then if you travel around the world, you see people suffering severely, subhanAllah, but you find within them contentment and even happiness and joy. Whether they be Muslims or otherwise, right? You find gratitude is key to contentment. You find gratitude is the key ingredient they have, or which they are content. Obviously, a Muslim, if they are content through gratitude, then their contentment is higher and loftier than others. Yeah, a Muslim, his or her contentment is more higher and loftier and deeper than others. Why is that the case? Because ultimately, the trials and tribulations, the difficulties you're going through, the challenges you're going through, ultimately, they are created, right, written, right, created, willed, written, and decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are created, right, willed, and written and decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, for you to realize and acknowledge that, and then to realize and actualize the fact that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates, right, wills, rights, and decrees upon yourself, right, is for your own interest. It's for your own interest. For you to go from first level of all of this is decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the second level is that it is in the best interest of mind. For you to go to that level and then for you to actualize that will bring not only contentment, but will bring gratitude. Will bring gratitude. Allahu Akbar. Yeah? Will bring gratitude. Because there's so many perspectives, there's so many angles you can look and find how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is decreeing things for your own best interest. There's so many angles you can look at it, right? And for us Muslims, one angle suffices. For us Muslims, one angle suffices. Yeah? If you truly believe there is a coming life, and if you truly from the depth of your soul believe there is a coming life, and in that coming life, that life is about rewards for the Muslims. That life is about rewards for the believers. Then, from the moment of your birth until your death, if you were to go through trial, right? Then what, logically, rationally, what is compared to eternal life of pleasures and delights and joys to 60 to 70 to 100 to even 1,000 years of pain and agony and misery? Can you compare? Logically, rationally, is there comparison? There's no comparison. Yeah. And yesterday I was thinking, if you just get out of your houses and at night time and just look up the sky, in the sky nothing has changed since the beginning. Yeah. Since the beginning until now, nothing has changed in the sky. Or no one from the human beings is in control of the sky since the day one until now. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And our life depends on what happens in the sky. It can be destroyed in an instant. Right? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy, will establish Qiyamah. The first thing it will be the sky that will be destroyed. Because through the sky, everything else here will be destroyed. Yeah? So if you look at the sky, you see that nothing has changed since day one of the creation until now. And nothing will change. But look at your pain and the misery and the sadness and grief and agonies of yours. It's like more heavy than the whole entire existence, yeah? But if you look up, it's so peaceful. You go out in the countryside, it's so peaceful, soothing. The trees moving, the plants growing, the flowers blossoming. You see so much serenity and peace. And you have so much misery inside you, all emotional misery and pain and agony. Yeah? And the only thing that is going up for you as a believer, the only thing that's going up above the sky that you're seeing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your deeds. Through those trials, through those difficulties, through those challenges, through those pain and agony. That is what is going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what is going to give you the rewards for eternity that's coming. So your actual pain and your actual misery in the midst of all this serene atmosphere, stable atmosphere, in the midst of all of this, your pain and your misery and agony, that is what will create the eternal blissful life that's coming above the skies. So I wanted to pose a question yesterday now when I was about to go to sleep after Fajr. Right? Look up, what do you see? I wanted to leave that question, go to sleep and see what people answer. Yeah? When I look up and what I see is nothing but deeds being elevated every night. That's what I see. Nothing but deeds being elevated every night, which is creating your rewards of life for eternity. That is what's happening every night. That is what exactly happening every night. Okay? And what I found, subhanAllah, from seeing the poorest of the poor, the most destitute of the people, obviously I met the Rohingyas, they're the most persecuted people. What I found in their eyes, when talking to them, right? I went to Africa, I saw the poorest of the poor. I went to Rohingya and I saw the most destitute of people. What I found from my experience is that what they have in common as Muslims is gratitude. They somehow find gratitude at the depth of the soul. And this is what gives them life to continue and to move on. This is what gives them the hope for a better life, at least in the eternal life. So when you ask them, what's happened to your father, what has happened to your mother, they say, oh, they have gone to Allah, i.e. a better life with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's gratitude. What will happen to you? Or we will go back to our lands. Or we will make our lands here. Whichever way, there is a gratitude deep down in the soul. And that deep, lofty, great gratitude comes because they believe in the rewards which are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for eternity. I wrote in the title, at the end of the day, it's all about effort in trials and tribulations. What Allah wants to see is the effort. It's all about status and rank. So in dunya life, in the trials you're going through, where is your status, where is your rank? For us to recognize that you are better, more patient, more forbearing, more sacrificing, more caring, more understanding, more foresighted. So your status and ranks are defined in this dunya life. So be appreciative of life. There's always something to be thankful of. And at the ultimate level, always find ways to settle gratefulness towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for He is eternally one. Your iman is there for you to find those answers. That's why your iman is there. Why go through those trials? Why go through those challenges? You have to find your answer. If you don't find your answer, then you are not meant to exist. If the answer is same as someone else, then you are not meant to exist also. Your journey is different. Your journey to Allah is different. And thereby your answers also will be different. they will not be sent. That's why your trials are different. And if you stop questioning, you will not find the answers. And if you don't find the answers, you will not have that deep understanding of Islam, let alone Allah. You will not have the deep understanding of Islam, let alone Allah. The more you question, the more you will find the answers which are unique to you. The more you will understand Islam, which is very, very unique to you. And then the more you will understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the more you will enliven Him, and the more you will witness Him in your life. And that's why Yusuf at the end, he thanked Allah. He said, رَبِّ قَدْ آتَيْتَنِي مِنَ الْمُلْكِ وَعَلَّمْتَنِي مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما والحقني بالصالحين. Verses 99 and 100. But then he says, Wallah, you were very gentle and subtle with me. Right? إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء إنه هو العليم الحكيم. Right? He talked about how Allah subtly protected him, guided him, directed him, motivated him, inspired him. Right? It was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a very subtle manner. And then he says, Oh my Rabb, you are the ones who gave me the kingdom. You are the one who taught me the foresight of matters, the outcome and results and the fruits of matters. You are the creator of the heavens and the earth. You were my protector. You were my guardian in this dunya life, and you are my guardian and protector of myself in the akhirah life. Allah, make me die as a Muslim. And Allah, make me be amongst the righteous. This man, at the age of boyhood, early boyhood, he was enslaved. Right? If there was anyone to be ungrateful from being from such a noble lineage, yeah, for him to be enslaved to humans who were not Muslims, and then to be imprisoned innocently, right? To be imprisoned through slander. After that, for this individual, for him to be grateful towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shows a huge, deep, big heart and he had. Now, Allah did not say that for us to be worried about Yusuf. Allah did not say this biography of Yusuf because for us to be worried about Yusuf. Allah said this biography in one go for us to become like him, because we can become like him. We can become like him. Not that we be wowed by him because we can't be like him. That we be wowed by him because we can become like him through the path that he took, and the path he took was faith in Allah, tawakkul in Allah, and walking that path of a Muhsin character with assertiveness, practical assertiveness, where he had to show his assertiveness and guards up. He did it. We have those practical realities, mindsets, and if we walk on that path of Muhsin and Ihsan, then we will also be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll have gratitude towards everyone around us. Where we have to be assertive, we'll be assertive, and that way we will live a life of status and rank, a life of position and power, a life of morality and morals, also a life of principles and uprightness. Lastly, we live a life of contentment and peace, at least internally. With that, we will end, inshallah. Any questions? Quickly though, the questions.
So Shaykh, you're saying about it's human nature that if you're oppressed kind of resist it, and a Muslim shouldn't allow themselves to be killed. How would you reconcile that with the ayahs about the sons of Adam when one said to the other and the other one said, I'm not going to send my hand towards you to kill you?
The sons of Adam. The sons of Adam. Now, that was because no murder was done before this. This was the first murder, and he never thought that his brother would kill him. He thought his brother might fight him, hurt him, but not kill him. That was not in the thought of the son of Adam and the others, obviously his thought was. That's why everyone who kills intentionally, which is not the due right to kill, that individual killed will take the sins. That's the reason. Because there was no murder that was done before. That's why. Any other question? We'll give 2 weeks break and then inshallah we'll start Surah Kahf, mindsets from Surah Kahf. Inshallah. So this was more mindset at the personal family level, how to deal with crises and difficulties and challenges within yourself, amongst the family. Surah Kahf mindset will be how to deal with society. Mindsets, how to deal with society.